everybody!
Good morning, boys and girls, and a very warm welcome to each and every one of you.
We hope you had a fantastic Easter holiday and that you are enjoying the gorgeous summer weather that we're having in May.
Indeed. So, boys and girls, over the last handful of weeks, we have been hearing all about kids of the Bible, which covered such characters of Joseph and Samuel and David and Daniel. And the last one was Paul's nephew, who showed tremendous courage in doing numerous actions to help Paul out. But, as we said, that season is finished now. If you've missed it, you can catch it here on YouTube. But we're starting a brand new season this very morning. Abby, what's it about?
So this morning, children, we are going to be learning all about Jesus's miracles, and we're going to be looking at several stories in the New Testament of different miracles that Jesus performed in the New Testament.
Wow. But what are miracles, Abby?
That is a very good question. So a miracle is something that is impossible for man to do alone and is something that only God can do. And there's lots of information about it in the Bible, but we're going to unpick it a little bit today. So children, in the Bible, in the New Testament, in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke and John are several different accounts of where Jesus performed miracles. In fact, there are 35 of them.
Wow.
And we're going to be covering 8 of them, or 6 to 8 of them in the next couple of weeks.
Brilliant. But how are these miracles kind of divided up?
So there are several different types of miracles in the Bible that we will be learning about. So just to give you a quick idea, so there is power over nature. So that is partly what we're going to be learning about this morning. The very first miracle that Jesus did, we're going to be learning about. There is casting out demons, so God being powerful over all evil things. Healing of the sick, so Jesus being able to heal anybody that is unwell. And lastly, raising of the dead, so people coming back to life after dying. And the biggest miracle of all is that Jesus died on a cross for us to save us so that we could have relationship with him, which we talked about back on Easter Day, if you can remember that.
Well, indeed, but it wasn't just him dying on the cross. What did he do 3 days later? He rose from the dead.
He did.
That was the best miracle of all. Indeed. So as Abby's already hinted at, today we're looking at Jesus' first miracle, which is a pretty special miracle as it's at a celebration. But we'll hear all about that in a moment after we do a quick wiggle time. So boys and girls, why don't you leap to your feet and we'll have a wiggle time.
Good morning, you lovely lot. It is time to get moving and grooving. So I need you up on your feet. Come on, up, up, up. And are you ready? We're going to do some dancing. Let's go. You just got to copy what we do. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you nice and warmed up? I hope so, because now it's time for a story.
Thanks, Pete. That was a fantastic wiggle time. So boys and girls, hope you're all now sat down comfortably, adequately with some energy burnt. It's now time for a story. Now, as we mentioned before wiggle time, it's a celebration, this story. And Abby's going to be reading from the Beginner's Bible. So if you have that, why don't you pick it up and flick to page 314 and follow along.
If you don't have the Beginner's Bible, you can turn to John chapter 2 verses 1 to 11. Okay, is everyone sitting down and got their Bibles out ready? I will begin. Jesus went to a wedding with his mother Mary and his disciples. Mary heard the servants say, "There is no more wine. What can we do?" Mary told the servants, "Do what Jesus tells you to do." Jesus said, "Fill up 6 jars of water. Then take a cup of water from the jars and give it to your master." When they did this, they saw wine instead of water. The servants were amazed. When their master tasted the wine, he said to the groom, "You have saved the very best wine for last." The disciples were also amazed. This was Jesus' very first miracle.
Wow, that's fantastic. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a wedding before, but they're a tremendous celebration and everyone's having fun and they're enjoying themselves. And I imagine they were having a great time at this wedding. But as you heard, they ran out of wine. That must have felt so embarrassing potentially for the hosts. But Jesus was there and he wanted to show his love and how much he was enjoying this time. And at that time, he performed this miracle of turning water into wine, which is pretty impressive. And as Abby said earlier, falls into one of the 4 categories of being power over nature. Water, which is just H2O, technically, into wine, which would have been very much fun at that time.
So we have a little demonstration of what that might have looked like. So why don't you have a little look what we're going to demonstrate now to you.
So boys and girls, check this out. This is potentially how it would have looked. They would have had their glass of water and their other glasses which they're handing out to their guests at the wedding. And they would have poured the water in. Ooh. And before you knew it, ooh.
How did Tom do that?
They would have had some delicious wine. But don't worry kids, this wasn't a miracle here today.
No. We'll tell you a little secret. What we just did there is put a little bit of Ribena, which is red blackcurrant squash, at the bottom of the glass. So it wasn't wine and it wasn't a miracle, but it's just an example to show you what it might have looked like when the guests were in front of Jesus and he turned the water, which was clear, into the red wine.
So kids, this was the first miracle that Jesus did. And as we heard in the story, the disciples were amazed. Jesus had been telling these stories and teaching them a number of things on their journeys. And here he had shown God's power. He had performed something which was impossible to do in any other way. It was only through God's power can Jesus do miracles. And do you know what? We even see miracles taking place today, these days, which can be in all manner of ways, whether that be in people being healed in various ways or financially through provision. It's fantastic. But as I mentioned, it's all through God.
So I wonder if you children can think of a miracle that you would like to see happen in your lives. Whilst you have a little think about that, why don't we go into some lovely worship time and sing to God.
There's no one like Jesus. There's no one like Jesus. There's no one like Jesus. There's no one like him. I walk here and there. I search here and there. I turn around here and there. There's no one like him. There's no one like Jesus. There's no one like Jesus. There's no one there's no one like him. I walk here and there. I search here and there. I turn around here and there. There's no one like him. There's no one like him.
Well, kids, we hope you enjoyed that worship time just then. And as Abby said before the worship time, are there any thoughts or things in your life that you'd like to see happen as a miracle? Because Jesus and God care for what you care about. And that's partly why Jesus changed the water into wine at the wedding, because he saw how much all the wedding guests and the couple getting married cared about this event, and Jesus cared about that, and so he changed the water into wine. Abby's got a quick memory verse for us over this season. So Abby, let's hear it.
So this is taken from the book of Psalm, which is in the middle of the Bible. If you can find it, you are doing very well. So this is Psalm 77, verse 14, and it says, "You are the God of great wonders. You demonstrate your awesome power among the nations." So I wonder if you can remember this memory verse for the next few weeks that we're going to be meeting, because we're going to keep reminding you of it.
Indeed. Well, kids, we hope you've enjoyed today so far. There is a craft under this video, or you can visit the Redeemer website and also download it there. But if you just ask Mum or Dad, I'm sure they can download it, and I'm sure you can have extremely fun time creating the various bits and pieces. But until next time, we hope you have a tremendous week, and we look forward to catching you again soon. Until then, take care.
Bye!
Bye bye!